Welcome back, everyone. Another part of the Let's Play in History. I'm going to say this real quick to put a final note on Teddy Roosevelt. I think he was a much better president than I think a lot of people would give him credit for. Excuse me. That was very inappropriate of me, I'm sorry. But someone who, you know, like when you have a good king and they do good things, you know, kind of like that, and at least from that perspective, I think that's what I think about when I think about Teddy. That being said, it's not like he didn't have opinions, that he didn't have, you know, a different fundamental foundation, how he was going to act if things did not go his way, you know. Excuse me. And I think that all has to be at least taken into some consideration when it comes to being the president of the United States, because you're not a king, you're a president, you're just the representative of the population and people that voted for you, and specifically in the representative state that you are the candidate of. I'm going to be in the middle in this little conversation.
Yes, I suppose I am glad you are keeping a level head about all this.
Somebody's got to keep a level head.
Nice if Tony displayed some of your understanding, just once.
How bad is your disagreement with Tony? Is it going to cause problems for the rest of us?
Don't worry, Tony and I may argue.
But if we're going to talk about Teddy, we do have to talk about his vice president, Mr. William Howard Taft. He is one that I find complicated. Very interesting young man, though, William Howard Taft is.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter.
I took care of that for you.
Blood magic. I don't have enough.
Tell me you found something good. This won't take long. Now we know what they're up to. The question is...
Huh.
Pick your target, Hunter.
Now I have plenty of intel.
If I had time, I'd take care of these myself. But I have been accused of hogging the ball before.
You know, Captain Marvel, I'm sending you on this. That's locked. Is that locked? Oh, so we do have to do at least one mission. Okay. Need to level up all y'all. William Howard Taft's a very fascinating dude. He's one of the few people that has had a very illustrious career before and after the presidency, at least in terms of politics. I think he was a conservative by most stretches of the imagination, and I think if he was born today, he would be a very, very, very good Republican, I think, by our current, as of 2024, standards of what a Republican probably should and could be. Not to say he wasn't perfect, not to say that he didn't have his own issues. Although he didn't have his own problems. Also, by the way, the fattest president we've ever had. I think certain scales will probably put him at closer to 350-ish pounds, something along those lines.
That's a neat trick.
probably should have taken him out first.
That was really something.
But one that the more you dig into, it creates a very fascinating picture, I think, of... because pretty much every single president from this point on is going to be at least intriguing, and intriguing both in terms of the world events and the events in the United States of America, and he's no different, really. William Howard Taft is one that doesn't get talked about in a very positive light in history, and I think it's kind of unfortunate that he doesn't get talked about like that, and really unfair, because I think he does a lot of good. He's not like, oh my god, you know, but certainly someone who I believe double my. Have you go right, huh? Take you both out.
How much is Lilith paying you guys anyway? It can't be enough.
That should slow them down, but it won't stop them. Get to the artifact before they figure out what happened.
Here we go. I bet you guys couldn't even beat the security guards in my parking garage.
Well, it's not too bad, actually.
That'll work. It really is a great way to stay in shape.
Yeah, buddy.
Confidence is high.
William Howard Taft, though, was born before the Civil War, late 1850s, around the same time that Teddy was born as well. He was born in Ohio, though. He was, by definition, I think, today, maybe lower middle class. Certainly wasn't poor. Definitely was not wealthy. For each Iron Man card. Okay, so that means I get 2, right?
I don't do this for just anyone.
They are loud, these pups. Oh, they really don't like Doctor Strange. It's a chin beard, isn't it? And this guy.
I'll return the favor in kind.
You cannot act. Is he down? Almost down. But again, Taft was not born into luxury by any stretch of the imagination.
The artifacts are secure.
He
Why don't you teach Hydra a lesson while you're there?
quit blasting, bro.
Does Hydra even pay you enough to cover your medical bills?
Yeah, why not? Now he wasn't dumb by any stretch of the imagination. He was quite brilliant, but he wasn't seen as some hyper intelligent individual. But I think that's just more because he saw things as pretty common sense and pretty plain. He was a very hardworking individual. He had 4 brothers and sisters. His dad was a judge, so I think that influenced ultimately what he was going to be doing for a lot of his career. You know, just a normal, regular Midwest upbringing in the United States of America. And he ends up becoming a... And that's death. Oh, no. Just going fireman. Okay. Let's just end you real quick. I'm getting sick of your nonsense, bro.
I gotta say, the whole Hail Hydra thing is pretty stale. Got any new material?
I'm curious to see what this does. I like these combo cards now. It's so overkill. Oh god. This one guy's just, he's just getting screwed over.
A most
Formidable duo.
I'd say that was a very successful outing. Good work.
But he worked hard, you know, he and his brother, rough house and all that. Which is funny, because he was a pretty good looking young man back then, before he gained a gratuitous amount of weight. But he was a hard worker, and new difficulty unlocked. Nah, I'm good. But hard worker, diligent in his studies, liked to read. You know how a lot of these people were back then. He attended high school in Cincinnati. Does very well there, prominent enough to actually be able to go and oh yeah, okay, let's go hang out, people. Let's go vibe with everyone.
Why, hello, Hunter.
Now, who wants to hang out? Let's hang out with Tony today.
Now, goes it Hunter, or is it the Hunter?
You ain't gonna beat me, bro.
Why do you have so much money?
Is a reconstituted revenant about to hit me up for cash, or...
I mean, what is the point of having so much?
Oh, you aren't kidding. Concept of billionaire didn't exist back then, huh? What's the best way to put this? Money isn't everything, but it's a lot of things. It gets you access and greases the wheels. If you want to make big changes, money is a necessary evil.
Sounds like you have made peace with it.
Of course not. I do useful things with my money. Most billionaires sit on their wealth so they can become even bigger billionaires. Or worse, they toy with vanity projects so they can lob cars at Venus. Write their names across the entire surface of Australia. You know, standard rich idiot nonsense. They never bother to ask, am I making the world better for everyone, or just myself? Or worse, they do, and they just don't care.
Can't tell if I'm winning in this
That's fine.
game or not.
Makes it easier to schedule them for a hostile takeover.
Tony's probably doing some cheating. Sorry, Tony. I can't give you a.
Hope you did too.
I can't give you a little girl's music box. Now, Taft did start gaining weight around this particular point in time. He ate a lot. He was a very portly fella, you know. I could. What? Okay, I just took a vase. Whatever. Do that one. Let's do that. Make it a little bit different. So those are just the cards that I have in the deck. More blood magic. Blood for blood. I like that. Spidey's got some changes. Do special delivery. I gotta get rid of the Spidey senses because I'm just not gonna use them too much. Dang. Okay, time for bed. But anyways, he started gaining weight while in high school. He's not like grotesquely obese, but definitely a heavy set. He was a unit, as the young kids say. Goes to college soon after. He graduates high school, Yale University in particular. Joins the wrestling team, mind you. Do you want to hang out with Robbie where he is? Okay, so I gotta hang out with Robbie. Just gotta remember that.
Yet another victory for the hunter.
Damn it. You totally ambushed
But he was a heavy dude. Gets into wrestling. I think he actually wins a heavyweight wrestling championship in Ohio. Basically, he's just someone who ultimately was hardworking. A lot of people noticed that. People admired him about that.
You're a hard demon to dislike, Hunter.
He also founded this weird society, the Skull and Bone Society. I think the Bushes were a part of it. I don't know what it is. Don't really like that too much. Graduates Yale. Goes to Cincinnati Law School. Becomes a lawyer around the 1880s. So when he's in his early 20s, he becomes a prominent lawyer in Cincinnati. A lot of people like him because he's hardworking, studious. Definitely is someone who looks at everything and yeah, just does everything he possibly can to look under every rock, crevice, and does the thing that he ultimately ends up doing. Again, his father was a lawyer and a diplomat, so he ends up reading a bunch of law books and follows in his own father's footsteps. Yeah, he becomes a big prominent lawyer once he's admitted to the bar around the 1880s. Again, remember too, presidents are presidents around these times, or these particular individuals are presidents, or are working with presidents around these particular points in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Chester A. Arthur is president around this time, or Garfield is president, and dang it, I don't know what these are, but okay.
Hey, Hunter.
Point being that Taft was a big Republican. He wanted to work specifically in government. I do know that's what he always wanted to do. I think he tries to become a prosecutor. Ends up becoming like an assistant DA. Bind. Why not?
Big Tony's fortune mystery. We never close. Find more foil. Send it my way.
Do 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 do. Hell yeah. Yeah, Ghost Rider's level 6. Okay. I can do this all day. I love Captain America. He's injured.
An enhanced spell. Most welcome.
We've got plenty of tricks
Dang.
for old dog. See you around.
Man, this game just does a routine at this point.
Everything by the numbers.
Okay. Don't have enough. Okay.
See you soon.
Destroy the device. Some assembly required. Okay, let's just do a story mission. Yes, Cap. Oh, this makes me so happy.
Apologies for the delays. Steve and I are holding down the fort here, alone, and given my condition, I'm just not myself.
Yeah, because that's a new problem for you.
I'm so excited. Captain America is by far my favorite
Scientific minds on this planet.
Marvel hero. If I can, I'm gonna try and probably use him at least once every other battle.
When can we expect to see your findings?
Keep telling you. Gremlins.
Losing power. On arc reactors 1 and 3. Facing complete defensive grid failure.
Impossible. Even for her. Okay. Improbable.
Incoming Hydra gunships. We're being completely overrun. Missiles targeting.
Does a bunch of stuff in government. William Howard Taft gets appointed by a bunch of positions with under the Arthur administration. Resigns a bunch of them because basically of politics is the long story of it. Starts a private practice, is on the ideological side of James G. Blaine for the Republican Party at this point. Joins the Superior Court of Ohio, I believe. Before he's 30, mind you. Yeah. Give me Cap. I'm so happy.
Next time we visit the tower, grand tour.
May need to clean up a bit first.
We're dropping you.
Now, I will say this, what makes Taft very unpopular is that, especially during his time as a Supreme Court Justice in Ohio, I think he's very anti-union. Very anti-union. Basically going as far as saying that a union that boycotts a particular business and company is, or pickets, would actually be considered illegal by the standards and practices and rules that they agreed to, contractually speaking and all that.
Sorry I'm late. Sensors got your energy signature confused with a flock of radioactive pigeons.
And it's a little bit iffy, but I go with the fact that William Howard Taft meets his future wife, Helen. They called her Nellie, though. Around 1880. At this point, he'd been a bachelor for most of his early life, so he meets her when he's closing in on 30 at this point, or close to 30. Sorry, mid-20s, mid to late 20s. And he basically courts her for the next 3 or 4 years, effectively. She rejects him because he's a portly boy. Yeah, Cap. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm Steve.
Liberty. Oh, you ain't gonna stop us, bro.
Welcome to the fight.
It's going down. Cap's gonna rain some hellfire on y'all.
So, which one of you wants to go?
The gunships are targeting us with rockets.
Hydra gunships fire rockets. Any heroes inside that will take damage.
I'm
Alright, so
out there, but if you could focus your attention on those Hydra soldiers, that'd be great. I'll work on getting the defenses back on.
oh sweet.
But you're on your own until then.
I could probably
Cap, gonna move you over here, buddy.
did design the system.
We don't have
And
time.
then we are going to whip
Just an observation.
some of these fools into. Why not?
Hail that.
But I don't have any heroism. But Nelly and I was gonna say Cap, but and Taft, they're pretty happily married for the most part. One of the few presidents who actually has a good marriage by all accounts. Married for over 40 years before Taft passes away. They have 3 kids. I know one of his sons becomes a U.S. senator at some point in the 40s and 50s. Actually, he does become a semi-prominent individual within politics at that point. Taft had a lot of political prowess and a lot of political power at this point. He's the kind of person that was smart. He threw his support towards the right people, the right individuals, to a point where he's like 32 years old, and they're like, "Do you want to be a Supreme Court justice?" He had actually he had gotten a lot of favor at that point.
Hydra really did a number
Okay,
on these systems.
counter.
And what happened to the fail-safes? Did you even have any? I'm not sure I'd brag about these if I were you, Tony.
Oh, well, let me know when Banner Industries releases your model, and I'll be sure to take a look.
Ooh. Let's go, Cap.
Help is at hand.
I love it. Just punch. Boom. Even if it doesn't do a lot of damage, it's my boy. It's my boy Cap. What? Good lord.
Melt your face if you keep that up.
They're still coming for me.
But while he doesn't become Supreme Court Justice, he doesn't get the nominations or the votes for it, he does become Solicitor General of the United States. Fixes a lot of things. Oh, God. I really hate those guys. It's actually really starting to piss me off. I'm gonna revive Cap real quick.
You should be able to reactivate the... Wait, what? Why are those even connected?
Just a one person, right?
For your
Yeah.
ego, Tony. Here we go.
It's ridiculous.
I heard Lilith is kind of hot. Any of you dorks make a move yet?
I'm on. They cannot possibly match your strength. Going to get you for this.
You know what? I'm over it. The other one hidden.
This shouldn't take long. Does Hydra even pay you enough to cover your medical bills?
And then I'm gonna heal myself. Really utilize this.
This shall be of great help.
What the heck is this? They are just killing me.
Targeting systems active. Reactors are online. Internal sensors are recalibrating. We're almost there. Just hold out a little bit longer.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna complete this mission, guys. Good lord.
I find the devil is everywhere these days.
I mean, these guys are just straight up cheating. I gotta be honest here.
Hope they're ready. I'm impressed.
I'm sick and tired of your crap, bro. Probably not a good use of my resources, but whatever.
Now that was impressive.
Let's do it.
Almost got you.
How much is Lilith paying you guys anyway? It can't be enough.
Of course you're frenzied. Of course you're frenzied. Can I go back? I'm gonna redo this because I definitely was not ready for that. Okay, so I'd have to redo everything. Yeah, my guys are not ready for this yet. I'm not ready for this yet. Sorry, people. I just wasted your time. On the bright side, I do know Captain America is on the horizon, but I definitely need to... Okay, just do all this real quick. Sure.
Yet another victory for the
Oh, Lord. This game.
You totally ambushed me with that pair of queens. I have to admit, I didn't think you'd be such a formidable poker player. Yet another reason to respect you.
It is just beginner's luck. I'm sure you're
Anyways,
There you go again, being all
as the Solicitor General, he's basically arguing cases basically for the Supreme Court, wins a bunch of these cases.
You do not dislike me, Captain?
This is why it's a little bit tricky with how people remember individuals historically, because, you know, a lot of people say Taft was not very brilliant or not very smart, but at the very least he was very tactful and very, at least, like, you, how do I put it? If you're going to argue and win a lot of these things and become a prominent individual, like, seriously, you really need to, like, have some real mental chops to, at the very least, be able to do stuff like that. And he did. He had all that capacity and capability. So I mean, like, I don't think you're dumb if you're winning cases left and right and you're proving points that other people aren't actually able to prove. You know, like, he's a good lawyer. He's smart, you know. And I think it's really, really dumb that a lot of people historically don't think of him in that particular way, shape, and form. And I think it's a little unfortunate. Okay, I need to figure out some stuff real quick. I'm probably just going to do a regular mission first, try and see if I can upgrade some of these folks.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Hello,
Everything by the number.
Okay, yada 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 yada, I don't care.
I'm here if you need
This
me.
day, I don't care. Da, 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 da. Badass walking through.
Hydra is still intent on detonating these rift charges wherever they can. Consequences be damned.
Maybe I can figure out some strategies too.
Just focus on destroying the charges. Hydra has enough warm bodies to overwhelm you eventually.
We here.
Here we go.
We cannot possibly match yours. Maybe you do not realize the trouble you are in, friend.
We got one hiding. Love the effort.
No deviations from the plan.
Oh Lord, those guys in particular really piss me off.
Concealment.
Wait a minute here.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What is this?
Feeling strong today, because you're going to have to deal with one of the fallen.
My respect for Spider-Man grows every time I am forced to look into this creature's drooling maw.
Why not?
I feel more like myself every day. No mercy.
Take that, sucker.
Hail that.
I don't even know what I just did, but okay. Anyways, Taft during this particular point in time becomes a regular person, I guess you could say, a regular citizen. Becomes the dean of his old law school, teaching property law at the School of Cincinnati. Is trying really to be a federal judge, but politics keeps rearing its ugly head into him, and he ends up basically just getting a bunch of attention to become a federal judge, and wants to be a federal judge, and not a big fan of William McKinley. I think he thought William McKinley too soft, too radical in a lot of ways, ironically, and not a big fan, and he's on the other side of the McKinley spectrum of support, I guess you could say. He was a big proponent of the gold standard, mind you, by the way, and he thought like someone like William Jennings Bryan was a little cuckoo. Little cuckoo. Second. But he's a rising figure within the opposition of Teddy and the McKinley movements. He's always more about money. He's always more about he was in a lot of ways like a conservative version of Teddy. It's not like he wasn't someone who didn't like, a world economic order kind of thing. He was definitely more so about that than others, certainly. Not to mention, too, while during this particular point in time, he's working in certain aspects of the Republican Party. He was someone who was just a prominent individual still at this particular point in time. I keep saying that over and over and over again, 'cause I don't know how else to really put it. It's just like a figure who was out of political office but had gained a lot of momentum and ultimately ends up getting a potential accommodation, and he ends up getting the ability to can I heal? I can't. He ends up getting a particular accommodation by William McKinley to be an ambassador to the Philippines after the Spanish-American War. So he's basically given kind of a crappy task, but also kind of an interesting task, because he's basically told to go over there to the Philippines and create a civilian government. Like, you just gotta create something over there, and I think it's pretty interesting. And he basically said, look, if you do this, I will give you the opportunity to become basically like, I will give you the opportunity to become a Supreme Court Justice, and you'll be the next nomination. So it's pretty much what he does. He does that around 1900, at the turn of the century. And let's just say it's very interesting. I don't know if he did the best job that he possibly could have, to be brutally honest with you. he certainly did a job. He basically let them kind of do whatever they wanted for the most part. He had just different things that he would do to influence the civilian government, but largely he saw them as people who were not going to be and or ready to be civilized several decades down the road. And he advocated for the people to actually take it, namely people who had some modicum of control, of power. Oh my lord. I gotta get rid of at least the strong, tough guys. Like this mofo. And, pretty much once he ends up, or McKinley ends up dying, getting assassinated, he basically just leaves for the most part. Effectively comes back home, doesn't really do too much, ends up becoming the Secretary of War for Teddy Roosevelt, who ends up coming back home in 1903, becomes the Secretary of War in 1904 at the turn of the year. Taft is funny because I don't think he ever wanted to be president. I don't think he ever wanted to be a part of a cabinet position, but he was just given all these different positions except a Supreme Court justice seat, which is ultimately the one thing he wanted really more than anything else, which is the funny part of the history of William Howard Taft. My lord, I am not doing good in this whatsoever, people. If I can end this guy, that'll be a start. I should probably free Tony.
This must happen to you all the time. Let's try it. Aw, you guys are so adorable. You can beat us.
I know that wasn't your signature move.
They must know my reputation.
We're taking casualties here.
Ah, my lord. Okay, I'm just gonna start focusing on these, on those devices now.
Focused effort.
Right back in it.
Weak, even for hiding. This shall be of great help.
That's always the funniest thing about Taft, though. He just never wanted to be anything but a Supreme Court justice. He wanted to work in law and was just never continually given any opportunity to do so. And largely, he does whatever Roosevelt needs him to. Goes to visit Japan, the Philippines, various different other countries to accommodate war efforts, etc., etc. You know, or not war efforts, but you know, military expeditions, etc., etc. He's just doing pretty much just whatever diplomat. He's basically the Secretary of State in a lot of ways, to be honest.
Seem to be fixated on me.
What the?
Lucky to still be breathing.
Getting it done any way we know how.
Alright, hurry up. Just do your damage. Shoot me. Beat me up.
I'm not out of this yet.
Oh, sure. Pick on the smart guy. You're saving this for a special occasion.
Yeah, figure out better strategies.
I hope you are building one of those suits for me.
Because this game's only going to get more difficult. So I either need to level up these guys, or I need to...
Another Hydra operation foiled. I'll never get tired
I need to do
of hearing
something
that.
different. Yeah, that sounds about right. Don't care. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna end this part here, guys. Because I do want to talk more about Taft. I just want to have more time to do it. Don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. But look, like and subscribe. God bless you all. Rock. Keep doing your thing, everyone. Have a good one, everyone.